Hi YouTube, this is Ray Bergstrom. I'm a guitar player in Los Angeles, California. And in this channel, I want to show you what it's like to be a working guitar player in LA. Now, probably most people watching this are musicians, maybe, probably mostly guitar players. And maybe you're curious what it's like to be a gigging guitar player. Maybe some of you are not musicians and just are wondering what a different kind of career looks like on a daily basis. Now, I had kind of an unconventional path to making music for a living. I didn't start making a living at it until I was in my mid-40s. I really got motivated when I had a family and wanted to start making something of myself and making a decent living for my family. And I also wanted to start this YouTube channel as kind of a time capsule to remind myself and of what life was like in 2024, and maybe this can be something that my daughter can watch later so she can see what her dad was like when he was not a young man, but not an old man either, somewhere in the middle. Now, this is the fifth video I've made in this series, so I'm a little new at this. But I'm trying to show you guys some of the challenges and unusual parts and fun things about being a freelance musician. Now, I am truly freelance. I don't have one main gig. I do a whole bunch of different stuff, but I make my living by playing live. So each week I'm taking you through my week of gigs and sharing some things that have been on my mind. And one thing that's been on my mind a lot the past week or two is this idea about trying to play spectacularly or burning versus just playing good or playing in the pocket. Now, there's this old saying that perfect is the enemy of done, or perfect is the enemy of good. And that saying is usually applied to talking about finishing a project or a task. If you try to make it perfect, then maybe you'll never finish and you'll procrastinate and beat yourself up. But I think there's a similar conundrum in live performance, especially with improvised music or even in composing music, where maybe you try to play spectacularly or try to play super burning, and it comes at the expense perhaps of just playing a good solo that's enjoyable for the listener and that's in the pocket. So what do I mean about spectacular playing? Well, I think spectacular playing involves things like virtuosity and shredding, surprises, playing hip stuff, surprising chords, harmonic substitution, maybe some humorous things like quotes, or just silly guitar tricks, things that excite or impress the listener and kind of show off. On the other hand, I think a good solo, a good performance is something it's in the pocket, it's swinging, it's in time, it has nice melodies, maybe logical phrases, and is hopefully free of mistakes. And I think playing like that, maybe it won't elicit laughs or shrieks of delight, but I think it's satisfying for the listener. And of course, like elite professional players can do both of these things and kind of seamlessly flow from one to another. And I am not an elite world-class player. I'm a guy who's trying to pay the bills by playing the guitar, and I'm trying to get a little better every day. When I hear people like Django Reinhardt, Charlie Parker, Borelli the Gren, John Coltrane, Alan Holdsworth, Danny Gatton, Guthrie Govan, Yoshio Stefan, they can do these solos where they are just going for it and burning and keeping the intensity high while still swinging or being in the pocket with good time and continuously surprising. But that's not a level I think I can maybe ever achieve. It's certainly something to aspire to, I guess, but I'm somewhat aware of my limitations, I think. But some of the best pro musicians I played with who are outstanding world-class players, most of the time play good solos that are in the pocket without explicitly showing off or trying to show people that they're a virtuoso. It's virtuosic without trying to be spectacular. And I've been talking about this idea of spectacular versus good solos with some colleagues and friends for the past week or two. And I've gotten a few different opinions on it. I've definitely heard from a few people that they really enjoy it when they hear someone going for it, even if it doesn't land. So they appreciate people trying to play spectacularly or trying to do new stuff that they haven't played before, like really going for it on the gig, even if you kind of crash and burn or train wreck the tune or have some clams. And I know that stuff can be exciting and fun, and frankly, my natural tendency for a long time has been to try to do that. But recently, in the past year or two, I've been trying to adjust my thinking to attempt to play good solos where I'm staying in the pocket, kind of staying within my limits. And if I feel comfortable, once I feel like I'm grooving, then try to maybe add in a little bit of extra sauce. Because in the past, my tendency, I think a lot of guitar players are guilty of this, my tendency was to go for it right from the beginning. But frankly, I don't have the resources to sustain something like that. When I listen back to solos where I'm like trying to shred from the outset or trying to be too clever from the outset, I usually end up disappointed because I'll just inevitably play something stupid or not achieve what I was going for. So yeah, in the in the past year or two, I've really been working on my ability to play a good solo that's in the pocket. And I think there are a few things that have really helped me get better at that. And I would say the most important thing is to have a reservoir of reliable, good sounding vocabulary. So you don't try to reinvent the wheel on the spot. You have cool phrases and ideas that sound good, that are not technically demanding, that are under your fingers, that you can rely on. And you use those as anchors. They get you going. Then you can feel confident while playing. At least this works for me, and I've heard from a lot of great players, they do the same thing too. And unfortunately, I got started with this jazz stuff and trying to play professionally pretty late in life, so I really feel like I'm catching up on the business of filling up my reservoir with ideas. I think it's not super large yet. And the next thing that has really helped me is being super aware of the physiological factors, making sure that I'm connected with my fingers and nervous system and brain to my musical ideas. When I feel connected like that, it helps me relax and swing more, and I don't have to worry about whether my fingers are gonna hit the right strings or not. And when I feel like really physically connected to my instrument, then I can feel more free to try to add in some of that extra sauce. And I think I'm gonna make a whole other video dedicated to this idea of like physical connection, nervous system to fingers, and how I get there, at least when I feel like I'm playing my best. So my thoughts on this topic are constantly evolving, and they evolve with my playing abilities, which even though I'm 45, I feel like my playing is just getting going. So if I can feel like I'm in the groove and my fingers are connected, then I feel like it's okay to start adding some surprising or spectacular or burning or whatever to my playing. But if I don't have that going, then my primary concern these days is just see if I can get a groove going, just see if I can feel like I'm in the pocket. All right. There's some thoughts on that for now, and in the rest of this video, I'm gonna show you my week. I had relatively few gigs this week, 3, and I'll show you what happened at 2 of those. So stay tuned. It's Thursday, July 11th, and I am headed to a gig at an amusement park, Knott's Berry Farm, down in Orange County, California. I'm doing this gig a bunch of times this summer, and man, today the traffic is no fun. I did the amusement park gig for the first time this year last Thursday, which was 4th of July. And because it was a holiday, the traffic wasn't so bad, but man, today traffic is pretty brutal. This is one of the least fun parts about being a musician in Southern California. I often have to commute to gigs during rush hour when everyone else is going home from their jobs and I'm trying to get to the gig. And today is particularly tough. Oh, adding to the challenge of commuting this week is the fact that my car broke down on a Tuesday night coming back home from my regular hotel gig. was going up a steep mountain road, a steep mountain freeway back to my house, and I guess a bunch of hoses blew up and sprayed coolant everywhere, and my car massively overheated. I was scared that I did serious damage to the engine, but it's at the mechanic right now, and they say it'll be okay. Fingers crossed. Another reason why traffic is particularly frustrating for me is that I try to build in some time ahead of each gig where I can warm up, because I definitely get better performances when I can have 20 minutes, 40 minutes, an hour to get my fingers warmed up, my nervous system warmed up, my brain warmed up, so I can feel that connection of fingertips to pick to strings and so on. When I am suddenly faced with unexpected traffic delays, that I have to rush the gig, I don't get to warm up, and then I don't play as well as I can. And also on the way, then I get stressed out by the thought of knowing that I'm not going to play as well, and then that makes me play even worse. So, whole lot of consequences to traffic delays. All right, back again at Knott's Berry Farm for another hot gig. Cooking in the sun, cooking in the sun. It'll be fun again. All right, here's our stage. We're getting set up now, and waiting for the band to show up. Even with all the traffic, I made it on time. All right, looking forward to fun with the Holy Crow Jazz Band. Man, I arrived at the gig and I hadn't eaten much all day. It was super hot and sunny, and as I was setting up, I started to feel like really low blood sugar and really dizzy and lightheaded. Yeah, I started sweating like crazy. I was worried I was gonna maybe pass out and faint. We did a quick little sound check, and I couldn't really play. When I'm that lightheaded, I just don't feel any connection between my brain and my fingers, and I just made a few sounds so the sound guys could get us dialed in, and then I ran to the cafeteria to get some food, and I'm feeling a little better now. So we got half hour before we play. I'm gonna try to warm up and calm myself down, get the nervous system locked in, see if I can reconnect my fingers to my brain so I can play something tonight. We'll see how it goes. Okay, tonight I'm really struggling so far. First set, I felt like I played horrible. I'm so tired, and I'm still a little dizzy, lightheaded. I feel like I can't connect my fingers to my brain, to my nervous system. Like nothing works. And you know, this week I've been thinking about playing spectacularly versus playing well or tastefully, and tonight I can do neither. I can't do anything. My fingers can't find the strings. I feel dizzy. It's a struggle. So we did our first set here, and I'm now spending the break, 20 minutes, just trying to reboot my system. I'm just gonna do some exercises, guitar technique stuff, arpeggios, and see if I can reconnect my fingers to the system and hope for better outcome in the second set. All right, let's see if that works. Alright, it's Saturday, July 13th, and I got another long commute today. I have a gig in San Diego. I live in the north part of Los Angeles County, so that translates to well over a 3-hour drive. And my car is still in the shop. I thought I would have it today, but the shop is closed today, even though the car's ready, so I was still rocking my wife's car. And I'm going to be driving for maybe up to 3.5 hours. I hope it doesn't take that long, but the ETA keeps creeping up. All right, wedding gig today with a nice trio. Lots of requests from the clients for tunes they want, so we're gonna try to accommodate all of those, and maybe I can sneak a clip from the gig. We will see. There was so much of my day taken up by commuting today. This is going to be another one of those gigs where I don't have time to warm up, and I haven't been able to play yet today. And for a wedding gig, like or background music, cocktail hour, ceremony music, just kind of reading down charts. Like, I don't need to be super burning or hip on this gig. At least not for the audience, but I still like to play well on any gig. If not for the audience, if it's not really like a concert or listening situation, then for the musicians I'm playing with. Because if it's with people I haven't played with much before, like, I want to show them that I can do a good job and I'm a reasonably good player. Fortunately today I'm playing with two guys I know really well and have done lots of gigs with, so they know me. Today is not going to change their assessment of my abilities. But you never know who's going to be listening, whether it's a musician in the band or someone at the event who maybe is really into music, or could be a musician themselves. I've definitely done casual wedding gigs like this where one or more of the guests is like a well-known musician. You never know who's going to be there, so I much prefer to have time to warm up and get ready before. But when I'm going to spend 3 to 4 hours in the car before the gig, there's just not enough time in the day to do that.